Are these bones?
Not just any bone. Human bone.
Where are we?
Hell.
We are talking Tribal, Get Out Alive. This one is directed by Mark Routledge and stars Zara Phythian and Ross O'Hennessy. And these two star as bailiffs. And they are a couple of bailiffs who have a ex-military background. And the two of them, along with a group of other kind of bailiffs and a couple of police, are sent to clear out this remote, large farmhouse which has been taken over by a new owner, and there has been a rash of homeless people that seem to have set up shop there, and they're tasked to kind of round them up and get rid of them. However, when they are there, they find out that there may be something else going on. There's a labyrinth of underground tunnels, and these homeless people may well have been experimented on by the previous owner and turned into bloodthirsty cannibals. What will happen? You have to watch the movie to find out. So let's talk about, first of all, what works here. I think the premise is actually quite a fun premise, and it's actually kind of nice to see bailiffs portrayed as the protagonists. For a change, normally bailiffs are portrayed to be kind of somewhat antagonists in most kind of movies, and I actually quite like the depiction here, especially when at the beginning of the movie, when we see they're kind of they're in the office being talked to by their boss. It all seems like a professional professional operation here, and actually once it's a job I flirted with once upon a time but decided not to go for. So it was kind of good to see this portrayal of this job, which is normally painted in a somewhat negative light, portrayed as kind of, just doing their job and regular folk. That was quite good. I quite like the fact that they just seemed professional along with the police as well. They seemed to have some understanding of how the real kind of these things could have worked, which I thought was quite good. Although there is a sequence at the beginning where they are just randomly walking around docks and stop a drug deal. It's just saying, why are you in these docks? There's no one there apart from these drug dealers who just happen to be there. Anyway, but what else? I think the chemistry between our two leads are very good. They are obviously both in real life look like they come from sort of some type of weightlifting or powerlifting kind of backgrounds. They're obviously both very physically able, but they have a good banter as well. And there are some good fight scenes that are choreographed in regards to actual fights, choreography here. I thought there's some martial arts on display, which looks well filmed. But let's talk about what doesn't work. Okay, very, very low budget British movie. I have a couple of large issues with this one. Number one, the acting. Some of the acting here, and I'm going to say from the majority, although not all of the cast here, is really bad, like really bad. Unfortunately, that a lot of the actors here simply cannot deliver a line without with any type of emotional resonance, be it a positive or negative emotion. I quite like our kind of pair of leads. Although I wouldn't say they're amazing actors, at least they comparable to a lot of the others. That they actually at least seem like somewhat real people, but some of the acting here is ridiculously bad, unfortunately. It doesn't help that some of the eye-rollingly bad dialogue written for them as well is just, real like nails on a chalkboard stuff sometimes. Although I quite liked some of the fight choreography, as I've mentioned, this is kind of like the Buffy the Vampire Slayer school of supernatural things here, where when someone is experimented on, they seem to know martial arts. Pretty much all of these infected people seem to be martial art experts and have these kind of martial art style fight sequences with certainly our female lead here. Let's talk about those infected people. So a couple of issues I have with these. Number one, I think they have missed a step on somewhat of a moral issue. Now, we are told that these people are homeless people that have been experimented on, and that's like, oh, that's real bad. You know, this guy, this previous owner was experimenting on homeless people. Woo, that is really bad on a moral perspective. Yeah, fair enough. We can all probably agree on that. However, there is no talk by any of our protagonists about trying to help these people, trying to find a cure. They refer to them as creatures. So although we are meant to believe they are on the moral high ground here, these people, you know, obviously, if we, in the context of the story, these homeless people are victims of experimentation, and they're not like, you know, these are just people who have been injected or had to take some type of serum, which hasn't really changed them into anything other than, you know, rabid humans at the end of the day. But they're referred to as kind of creatures, and like I said, they just happily are getting killed and stuff like that. You know, I think the story here has missed quite an important mark on a moral dilemma here, because it just wants to get into the action, and that's all good. If you don't care, you know, if you're not caring about morality in any way, then fine. But yeah, just that we have no real attempt to try and you know, help the people. They're just seen as antagonists, and that's it. You know, it doesn't matter that they themselves were victims, which I think portrays some dangerous thoughts, if I'm honest. You know, these people are meant to be victims themselves, but anyway. So there's that. But let's talk about the actual, you know, the nitty-gritty regards to these, you know, these creatures, as they're called in the movie, who are just blokes who have maybe got a few warts on their face, and that's the extent of the changes within them. And yeah, some of them have like their typical sort of tatty clothes where you can clearly see where scissors has been used to kind of cut their clothing to make it look tatty. Others seem perfectly well dressed, and we're all meant to believe that they are, you know, homeless people. And to be honest, not many of them really look like that. Some of them are dirtied up a little bit, but some of them just seem just like the Joe Schmo. So yeah, I have a number of issues with the way these kind of our antagonists, so to speak, in this movie are portrayed here. At the end of the day, this movie has quite a weak villain as well. We have a kind of a central villain who, I have to say, looks like Non from Superman 2. And this is one of the people who I have some problems with their acting here. Very, very cheesy, and I don't know. There's a choice that this character makes before he becomes truly villainous that I just think, oh, come on, you know, it's ridiculous. And then we also have this kind of a scientific character as well. Again, I can't believe this character is portrayed to be a scientific person, because it's just the level of intelligence that it's written for this character, along with the poor acting, is just bad. There are a couple of, you know, one thing I guess I would say on the positive as well, we do get a reasonable large team of bailiffs at the beginning of the movie, which does end up giving a reasonable high body count here. And, you know, although it's not a particularly kind of gruesome film, I guess the other thing I would say, the location here, these underground kind of tunnels and stuff, you know, they look okay. I mean, they look a little bit too well lit at times for a secret underground lair, and it looks like these tunnels are obviously coming out somewhere to be too sort of secret and stuff. It's not like a James Bond villain here. But anyway, to be honest with you, this movie is pure B-movie fodder. It has some fun action sequences, but it's really hampered by poor writing and poor acting here, and just kind of like some decent fight scenes doesn't kind of really warrant a kind of a high mark, to be honest with you. So I want to go for a 3 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.